हसरत है हमारी बाबा, कर दो वो पूरी आके। मिल जाओ प्यारे बाबा हम बच्चों से आके। मिल जाओ प्यारे बाबा हम बच्चों से आके।
बाप दादा हर एक बच्चे को सदा गिरा हुआ रूहानी गुलाब देखने चाहते, मुरझाया हुआ नहीं, गिरा हुआ। और जिससे प्यार होता है ना, तो उसको जो अच्छा लगता है ना, वो ही किया जाता है। ऐसे होता है ना, डबल फॉरेनर्स तो प्यार बहुत करते हैं, तो बाप से प्यार है सभी को। कितना बहुत। तो जो बाप को अच्छा लगता वही आपको अच्छा लगता है ना। अभी किसी का भी समाचार ऐसा नहीं आए तो क्या करे, बात ही ऐसी थी, इसीलिए अपसेट हो गए। अगर बाप अपसेट की आती भी है तो आप अपसेट स्थिति में नहीं हो। उस बात को एक झूला झूलते हो ना, झूला देखे है, वो बहुत नीचे ऊपर होता है, झूला होता है, तो झूले में भी अपसेट तो करता है ना झूला। बहुत नीचे हो और बहुत ऊपर हो और बहुत फास्ट हो तो क्या होता है, अपसेट करता है ना शरीर को। लेकिन खेल समझ करके आप अपसेट होते हो क्या? होते हो? होते हो? क्यों नहीं होते हो? खेल समझते हो ना, तो अपसेट होने के बजाय मनोरंजन समझते हो। कारण क्या हुआ? खेल। ऐसे अगर कोई अपसेट करने की बातें आएंगी जरूर। जिन्होंने हाथ उठाए उनको और बड़ी अपसेट की बात आएंगी। क्यों? तो माया भी सुन रही है, वो भी बोले सुन रही, लेकिन उसको एक खेल समझो, घबराओ नहीं। अच्छा झुलाती है, झूलने दो, लेकिन मन नहीं, घबराए नहीं मन। नॉलेजफुल बन जाओ, पावरफुल बन जाओ। उस सीट को छोड़ो नहीं। फिर देखो, अगर एक दो बार भी माया ने देखा कि ये अपसेट होने वाले नहीं है, तो खुद अपसेट हो जाएंगी, आपको नहीं करेंगे। बात की लेन देन भले करो, कोई भी बात आती है तो नॉलेजफुल होने के कारण समझते तो हो ना, ये ठीक है, ये नहीं ठीक है, ये होनी चाहिए, ये नहीं होनी चाहिए।
बड़ी मन भावनी मुरली प्रेम से प्राणों को सींचे, रसीली तान की ये डोर आपकी ओर ही खींचे, आपकी ओर ही खींचे, रूहानी स्नेह का जादू आपकी मीठी बातों में, रूहानी स्नेह का जादू आपकी मीठी बातों में।
Om Shanti. With the feeling of being an instrument and being humble, construct the new world. The lesson of Haji. Because people understand, they consider the souls who practice the lesson of remaining humble and saying Haji to everyone as those who are defeated. However, such souls are, in fact, victorious. You should not allow your intellect to change from having faith to having doubts because of what others say at that time or because of the atmosphere. Do not doubt whether you'll be victorious or defeated. Instead of that, remain victorious. Today, others may say that you are defeated, but tomorrow, those same people will shower you with flowers. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Welcome to Avikti Parivar. Today's day 21. With the feeling of being an instrument and being humble, construct the new world. Today's topic, the lesson of Haji. Now we will listen to Mohini Didi.
Om Shanti. Is everyone okay? Everyone well? Yeah. You all must have heard that because in Brahmin family the news spreads, right? So one of the big news is that there is inauguration of Oxford Retreat Center in London. It was 5 years ago. They needed to renovate it, and now they are inaugurating. There will be international guests, very few from everywhere, because there is always limit in accommodation. So Sister Jayanti was here. She came for call-up time, and then Sister Manda and other sisters, can you come for inauguration? And I immediately said, yes, I will come. On one side, they really wanted me to come, but then they couldn't believe that I just accepted and said yes. And I always look at Baba, And I say, Baba, if you have to make it happen, you will take me and you will bring me back. And that trust inside. Sister Bhumi also loved the idea. And then we are planning to travel. So there are so many situations which I can say that by saying yes, they become like your specialties, they become like your blessings also. So it's not, obedience is not to be subservient. Obedience is respect, and also it is through saying Hanji, you claim lot of blessings. You win the hearts of people. I had been saying my effort will be to travel, but the blessing of thousands of the souls I will be able to accumulate, because everyone definitely will be amazed. It's a very short trip, is long, but stay is very short. But I just felt that as the family is there, and Dadi Janki's lesson of don't miss anything, which she always used to say, I never miss anything. So, but we should not see that it is under pressure. I decided no, it is out of love and also feeling the presence of ancestors. They cannot be there in physical, and I can still manage. Why not? I go there. So this nature, try, aim should be, if you are told, you are asked to do something, you should say yes. You will learn. That will become your specialty, as I said. Because so many things Dadi Janki will tell me, which I have never done, had never done. And she will say, but you can do it. So I will say, okay, if you are saying I am doing it, but I don't know about this, I have never done it. So many, it's a long list I can share, which I won't now. So there will be some who will tell you
let the light of your being illuminate
that, oh, you are blindly following, you're not even using your intellect to discern, you are just doing what you are told to do, and make you feel as this is like a defeat. But actually it's a victory. So I feel that have determination, because the cooperation at that moment and the tasks that had to be accomplished get accomplished by saying Anji. I remember one time there was a big conference in Om Shanti Bhavan, and Dadi called me at 10 to 9 in the morning. She said, you have to give talk at 9 o'clock because so and so is not well or is not giving lecture. Dadi, in 10 minutes, I have to be on the stage, like looking at Dadi. Okay, I will go. So I went, and of course, they take enough time to introduce, to give the badges, to give the flowers. So I just became introvert, go to Baba and said, Baba, what should I say? What should I speak? Well, not 20 minutes lecture. So I gave lecture, everything was over. And then one of the brothers senior came to me and said, when you are not prepared, you give a very good talk. This was the best, one of the best talks I've heard. So I said, oh, that's very good. And like congratulations, good wishes, lot of blessings. Because generally you won't say yes, right? So in saying yes, you don't lose anything. Only what you need is self-trust, faith. Even others say anything, but don't create thoughts of the doubts. Will I be able to do it or not? Did I do right by saying yes or not? And then sometimes there might be some difficulties, but that's okay, no? That's learning. At every step, there could be some difficulty, but we shouldn't create doubts in our mind. Continue with the faith, have faith. Baba, dramas, our all seniors, and in the end also on your own self. Faith, trust is a big, big strength. And I always find sometimes it's like we have to invoke these powers. You have to invoke trust. You have to invoke courage. You have to invoke whatever power is required. Someone said, but you don't have powers. Even if you have power, you have to invoke that power so that it becomes active. And that energy of that virtue, the power of that virtue helps you and you become very, very successful. So I would suggest, yes, we should agree and do the homework, think about it, that I have to say, yes, please. In Hindi, we call it Hanji. Even with parents, a child who always says Hanji, even among brothers, sisters, if they say Hanji, your heart really melts. You say this one, whatever this soul is doing, but when I ask something, she will definitely do. So that trust and relationship, love amongst each other keeps growing. And I think that so we all collectively should have this determined thought that we will say Hanji, become cooperative, and let's together do God's task. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti Avyakti Parivar. Thank you, Didi, for wonderful sharing. And now, from today, for next 3 days, we will do something new. Since past few months, I guess even more than years, we have few angels who had been doing interview for Didi. But this time we thought let's do their interview. So today I would like to invite our dear Sister Angel, Sister Shireen, and Sister Maitri. So Sister Maitri will be taking interview of Angel Sister Shireen. So let's welcome both of them. Welcome.
Om Shanti. Good evening, everyone. Om Shanti, Maitri Ben. Om Shanti, Sister Shireen. Om Shanti, Avyakti Parivar.
So how are you doing this evening?
Very good. I'm looking forward to this.
Oh, no pressure.
Yeah, you have been bringing out the best butter from Didi with your questions. So,
Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying that.
yeah. So I was thinking about Didi's class right now and the part of Hanji. So, and she shared one of her experience with Janki Dadi. And there were times when Dadi instantly told her to do something and how that Hanji became her specialty. So has there been any experience where you felt where one of Dadis or any seniors gave you something and you instantly had to overcome those doubts and play the part of Hanji?
Many times, many times. I guess the first time would be moving into the center.
That it was not my thought to move into the center, but Dadi Janki and Mohini Didi and Dorothy Ben at that time was in Tampa. And they decided, and I was so reluctant to do it because I was living alone and I really liked living alone. And then I said Haji, and there were so many beautiful things that came out of it, right? Just spiritual growth and so many things, like learning so many things, because I really grew up very pampered in India. And so, the soul got to learn so much and got to do so much service. And so that was very good. So looking back, even though I was so reluctant and I said Haji, there was so many blessings from it.
That's very nice. And you're here with us now.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
One of the things that you share in many of your sharings is the practices that you do to keep yourself constantly connected with Baba. And I know in today's Murli, Baba mentioned about the yoga of intellect a couple of times. And then in the blessing, he said that if you want to take power from me, you have to empty the vessel of your intellect. Now, I know that throughout the day, like we do a lot of things where the intellect gets quite involved with different tasks. So how do you take care of your intellect so that it's ready enough for that constant connection with Baba whenever you want?
So when Baba says intellect, right? Intellect is that part of the soul that is understanding and awareness. So so like mind is that part of the soul where just thoughts are coming in. And the intellect is that part of the soul where there is awareness and understanding. And so, and this awareness and understanding has to be in such a way that we keep moving our awareness and understanding to what Baba is saying. And so let's say my intellect, if I'm an engineer like you, and my intellect is involved, it's very involved, but it's a different kind of involvement because it's involved in engineering things. And so, but we have to take our intellect and keep it in what Baba is saying, like the wisdom, right? Buddhi is really the wisdom. And so we have to involve our intellect in what Baba is saying. And that's how you keep it refreshed. And so when Baba is saying, keep your intellect plain, like in the blessing, right? Keep your intellect plain. He really means that don't overanalyze. Don't think too much about something, right? Just keep your intellect focused on what Baba is saying in the Murli or something, not in that day's Murli, but any Murli, right? Just keep your intellect focused on that. Don't think too much about anything. Don't have expectations. That is another part of the intellect where you're expecting. Another part of the intellect where you have to keep empty is where not only are you having expectations, but you are kind of, even before it happens, you're predicting this is going to happen and worrying about it or feeling guilty about something you've done. So all of those things you have to keep empty.
Okay.
But empty doesn't mean there's nothing in it.
Right.
You fill it with Baba's wisdom and empty it from comparison, criticism, guilt, worry about the future, overthinking, all of those things.
Makes sense. Okay. And so I know in yesterday's Murli too, Baba gave a couple of drills. So can you share some of the drills that Baba mentioned that you have been doing?
Baba yesterday was talking about don't forget to have remembrance, right? Don't forget to have remembrance. I thought that was such an interesting phrase, but it's the most important thing. Remembrance is the most important thing. And it's so powerful and it's so slippery. So I feel all of us should take yesterday's Murli, print it and read it and read it and reread it, because he gives us so many methods for remembrance. And so a couple of them are just one-liners, right? Just one line. He says, remember me with every breath. And so Didi also has been talking about, Mohini Didi has also been talking about breath and remembrance. And so I've been really practicing this breath and remembrance. Like you breathe in, you remember Baba. And also Didi has been talking about allowing Baba's remembrance to go into the body and send those good wishes and pure feelings into the body, send Baba's love into the body. And so you breathe in again, you remember Baba, you exhale again, you remember Baba, and you allow everything to go in. And so that has been very good. Another one which was interesting was, if you see Baba, you remember Baba. And I remember Dadi Janki saying that if Baba is in front of you, you will remember him. And so yes, in Sakar days, Baba said, keep a photo, all of that. But that's in Sakar days. Now it's Avyakta days. In Avyakta days, you have to learn to see Baba without having to keep a picture, right? In your mind's eye, you have to see Baba. You have to visualize Baba. And you have to keep seeing Baba in front of you. Keep seeing Baba in front of you. The more you see Baba, the more you remember Baba. And so I was seeing Baba and I was remembering Baba, and this whole idea of like Baba is the benevolent one, the beautiful one, right? Really seeing Baba as the benevolent one, really seeing Baba as the beautiful one, and really remembering him that way. So those were one-liners, right? Just one-liners, but there were a few drills also. And so last night I was talking to a few Baba's children, and they were saying, oh, I have to make a plan. I said, no, don't think too much. Just read any sentence in the Murli from yesterday's Murli, and you have a plan. You can have a plan.
Well, that's very nice. And while you were talking, I was thinking about how all of that brings that lightness, because I have been noticing even this Thursday's book message and past couple of book messages, Baba has been mentioning that at this time you have to be light. So you can receive my touching, you can receive what Baba's directions. So have you ever felt like that complete light stage that you receive Baba's touching and you know exactly that's what Baba wants you to do at this time?
Yes, many times, but mostly it happens after doing drills.
Oh, okay.
And so I have this plan, right? Okay, I will sit down right now and do this drill 21 times. And sometimes I will think, oh, in one time it happened where I was driving and I thought, oh, Baba gave this drill. It was a Sakar Murli. Baba gave this drill and I'm going to do this drill while driving, right? I'll just keep doing the drill till I get. And the body was so light. I had to stop doing the drill because I wasn't able to handle the steering wheel, right? And so I stopped doing the drill. But many times, of course, when I'm many times sitting in Baba's room or somewhere, whatever, doing something, many times, but it usually happens after a drill. And one of the drills that really is very powerful, that makes you very light. So one time I was doing the Swadershan Chakra drill, and someone, Lokik person, I knew the person, and they were coming to do internship at the center. And so, but not Baba's child. So Lokik person, they didn't know too much about anything. They were just doing internship. And I was doing the drill, and then I went and opened the door. And he looked at me and he said, young boy, he looked at me and said, you are very light. You look very light. Even he could recognize, right, that there's something very light about the soul.
That's interesting how you mentioned after the drill.
You're right.
So choose your drills based on everyday's Murli and after you plan out your day?
Yes. Most days Baba has good drills. Like today, the blessing is very, very good drill about just keeping a plain intellect, having good wishes and blessings for everyone. But yesterday we had 3 drills.
Right.
And so apart from the single liners, right? Like the difference between a single line statement, like, if you keep seeing Baba, you remember Baba, right? That's a single line statement. For me, a drill is he gives several steps. And you go from step 1 to step 2 to step 3 to step 4. So that's a drill, because then your intellect is really engaged. It's not just any single line. You keep going from step 1 to step 2 to step 3 to step 4, like that.
Mm-hmm.
So there were 3 in yesterday's Murli.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all very beautiful, very beautiful.
Yes, yeah. I'm inspired to read the Murli again.
I could mention a couple of them. One of them is where Baba is saying, consider yourself to be a bodiless soul, right? That was the first step. Consider yourself to be a bodiless soul. And the second step was, I belong to Baba. So I'm a bodiless soul. Second step, I belong to Baba. Third step, Baba has come to take me back home. And the fourth step is I have to shed this body and return home.
Right.
And so these 4 steps, being bodiless, Baba has come for me, I have to go home, all of those steps. Really, like if you keep doing it, right? At Amrit Vela, I was just kept doing it and doing it. And there was some little thing that was, I didn't even realize it was bothering me. There was some little thing that was going on. And throughout the day, I felt like so light in my heart, like so light, because I kept doing this drill.
Very powerful. Yeah. One other thing I was thinking, I know when you interview Didi, when you ask her questions, you really bring out the fragrance of Sakar days and her experiences with Baba Mama. So could you share a little bit about your experience with ancestor souls, with Dadi's Didi, that you still think is helping you at this moment in your spiritual life?
Many experiences with Mohini Didi, of course, but also many experiences with Dadi Janki, right? So this time for Avyakti Parivar retreat, when we were in Peace Village, I was missing Dadi Janki so much. I know she would have been 107, and there's no way, because of her body and stuff, but I was still missing her, because Dadi really knew how to see the soul. She would just see the soul, right? And there were many, many times. One time in Peace Village, I was complaining to her about something. I was talking to her and complaining to her about something. Something's happening, this and that. And she stopped and she said, it's a game, Ben. It's a game. You understand? It's a game. So I still remember that, because I'm glad she said it, because I really feel now, I see everything and I think, oh my God, it's a game. It's a game. It's a game. And there's this one time in Madhuban, I didn't even know I was sad. But I was feeling a little sad, and I was leaving, actually. I was leaving. And I went to say bye to her, and it was in Pandav Bhavan in Indraprasth. She was in Indraprasth. So I went and sat in Baba's room for a little bit, and then I went to her. And I was telling Baba that, oh, I don't want to go. I'm feeling a little sad, this and that. And I didn't know what it was about. And I went to Dadi Janki, right? She didn't say a word. No one was there. She was alone. She was reading something. And she didn't say a word. She just got up and she said, come here. And she got me close. Oh, and my heart was feeling very heavy, right? And it was feeling very heavy. And so she caught me close and she said, come here. And she rubbed, like she did this on my heart. And instantly I felt light. Like instantly that heaviness, everything was gone.
So lovely. That's very
Yeah, many experiences with Dadi Janki and Didi also, right? I remember the first time Didi saw me. Everyone mistakes who I am, and maybe because of my name and stuff, but she knew exactly, she knew exactly.
Were
Yes, right.
very nice. I know that one of the series that you did was recognizing Baba Shiv Bhagwan Raj before. And I have been, because every day in Murli, like yesterday, he said, I'm Vichitra, the one without the form. And then today he's like, I'm Palankarta, I give the sustenance. So he gives many of different titles every day. So how have you felt that your recognition of Baba has become more clear with the practices of remembering Baba with his titles?
Titles really help. Like today, because Baba said, no, every time Baba is giving a directive these days, I write. Because today he gave a directive about sustainer Palan, that he's a sustainer. He gives sustenance, and you have to tell everyone that you have to prove to everyone he gives sustenance and that he's the one without an image. So I was writing that. And when you're writing, I feel that somehow your understanding of Baba for me increases because I'm writing it. I'm trying to write it so someone new can understand what I'm saying. And so I've been doing that, right? That really helps. But for me, when we think about Baba's titles, I feel just the awareness of the title really helps. Just the awareness that, last few days, I've been thinking of Baba as the boatman, right? Again, I think about how will I explain this to new people? If I say boatman, no one is going to understand. So that he's the ship captain, and then there's a ship. And so I'm looking at him as this ship captain, and the ship is going through very turbulent times, and how I should really trust in Baba, Baba's love for me. And so when I think about those things, then I'm understanding Baba more. That, I trust Baba more, and then I understand Baba more.
Okay, that's very nice. So writing it out also helps.
Yeah, writing really helps.
And speaking of writing, I was thinking about your book, The Soul Fitness. I personally have been taking each practices from last week. And I felt
thank you. Thank you. That's very sweet.
I think everyone should read it. And one of my favorite practices was the strength training of the soul and exercising the intellect and the mind. And it connected very well with what Didi was sharing today about trust, how trust is a strength. And you mentioned in the book too, that the first is really having trust in the cosmic timings in the drama. So just by doing the practices, I personally felt that strength in myself. So I was thinking that you writing the book, there must be a lot of strength that you felt after writing the book. So could you share some of your highlight moments while you were writing it and how you carry that experience right now after writing the book?
So it took me 7 years, right, to write that book. Took a long time. A couple of years I didn't do anything, but most of the time I practiced, then wrote it, then practiced, wrote it. And there are several practices I use a lot even now. And one of the practices I use a lot is the timer. There is a practice, timer meditation, and I use a timer meditation. And when I was writing that timer meditation, I remember how quickly the soul was able to concentrate. Just by using the timer, the concentration of the soul was just really, on point. And so I would highly recommend, even if you don't do the book, use a timer for your meditation. But you should read the book. Thank you for promoting the book. Because it is soul conscious practices, right? It is soul conscious practices. there was this one practice, I experienced that practice and then I wrote it. And that is where it's the love. It's like a heart practice. And where the practice is about that Baba, that there's a cloud and you're on the cloud and you're being comforted on this cloud. And that was an experience I had in a practice I did where Baba is providing this beautiful cloud and Baba is providing this comfort more for me in this cloud. And so it was a deep experience. And then I wrote that practice.
Very nice. Yeah. So many practices you shared today. I'm probably going to write them down too. Yeah. So I don't think we have much time. I might be over time, but thank you, Sister Shireen, for sharing these.
Thank you so much for coming and chatting with me. It's been a pleasure.
Been a pleasure for me too. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you so much, Shireen Ben and Maitri Ben. Thank you for all your sharing. We really enjoyed, and we look forward for more. So now, tomorrow is Saturday, and our schedule from Amrit Vela, 3:30 a.m. to 4:45 a.m. Meditation will start at 6 a.m., followed by Hindi Avek Murli until 8:30, and then tomorrow is Saturday, so we'll be having Avekti Children class from 1:30 to 3 p.m. and Avekti Youth class from 3 to 4 p.m. In the evening, 6 p.m., meditation will start, followed by Hindi series, meditation commentary by Didi, English series, and Avekti Journey. We'll be having another angel whom we will do the interview, and of course Avek Muli revision. That's the schedule for tomorrow. Om Shanti. Now let's start our Avek Mulis. Om Shanti. Welcome to Avek the Journey. Avek Mulis from 1969, speaking to the heart of an angel.
Om Shanti, Avyakt Murli. The method and benefits of knowing the feelings of the mind. 18th of April, 1971. We were told earlier that you are the children of the Trimurti Father, and so the Trimurti light should be visible from you. That is, there should be the visions granted of three lights from each one of you. When others come in front of you, firstly, they should see the jewel on the forehead. Secondly, from both your eyes, they should see two light bulbs. And thirdly, they should see a crown of light over your head. So they should have visions of all three lights. Some do have these visions. When you make them sit in remembrance, both eyes are seen as balls of light. And from some, there are visions of a crown of light over the head. So what will happen when people have visions of these three lights from you? They themselves will also become light. You have experienced this, have you not? Through the Sakar form, you saw how many had visions of the crown of purity through the forehead and the eyes. So you have to follow the Father. If you grant visions of such a form to souls, success in service will bow down at your feet. Become such great souls that whomever you go in front of will have visions. Then would they be able to show their heads in front of you? You are the images that grant visions. They would bow down. When they bow their heads in this way now, they will later bow their physical heads in front of your non-living images. However many you make bow down in front of you now, accordingly, people will bow their heads in front of those non-living images. Together with subjects, you also have to create devotees. The reward of the whole cycle has to be fixed now. Heirs have to be created now, and subjects too have to be created now. The devotees of the Copper Age will also be created now. Do you understand? You have to fill your devotees with the sanskaras of devotion, that is, of bhavna, from now. By filling them with the sanskaras of the bhavna, for you being very elevated, they will become devotees. So the devotees too have to be created now. As yet, you are still making effort to create subjects. As the stages of all of you continue to be revealed, so your heirs, that is the royal family, the subjects, and the devotees will also continue to be revealed. Now they are mixed because your stage is not yet fixed. This is why they continue to be mixed. Then they will be visible practically. You will feel that that one is a devotee. You will feel this because the virtue of being Trikaldarshi will be revealed. You will then also be able to see clearly your reward of all three aspects of time. Not in a divine vision, but you will have a practical vision. Acha. The next Murli, 19th of April, 1971. The definition of renunciation, tapasya, and service. Today, Baba has been called to inaugurate the Bhatti. You have come to this Bhatti to become an embodiment of the imbibing of all virtues and an embodiment of the full knowledge. For this, you must pay attention to three main things. What are these things through which you can become an embodiment of the full knowledge and an image of all virtues? The essence of the entire knowledge is merged in these three words. What are these words? One is tyag, renunciation. The second is tapasya, intense meditation. And the third is seva. To become an embodiment of the imbibing of these three words means to become an embodiment of the full knowledge and an embodiment of all virtues. What is renunciation? Constantly to have the attitude of renunciation, to be an image of tapasya, and to serve every soul at every second and through every thought. You have come to the Bhatti to learn this. In fact, you know about tyag and tapasya, so what have you come to do now? To put it into practice. Although you know about it, you have now come here to make your following equal to your knowing it. At present, there is a difference between your knowing about it and your following it. To be continued. Om Shanti.
with the feeling of being an instrument and being humble, construct the new world. The lesson of Haji. Because people understand, they consider the souls who practice the lesson of remaining humble and saying Haji to everyone as those who are defeated. However, such souls are, in fact, victorious. You should not allow your intellect to change from having faith to having doubts because of what others say at that time, or because of the atmosphere. Do not doubt whether you'll be victorious or defeated. Instead of that, remain victorious. Today, others may say that you are defeated, but tomorrow, those same people will shower you with flowers.
निर्मल और निर्माण बन, विश्व नवनिर्माण करो। हाजी का पाठ। नम्र चित्त निर्माण व हाजी का पाठ पढ़ने वाली आत्मा के प्रति कभी मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग से दूसरों को हार का रूप दिखाई देता है, लेकिन वास्तविक उसकी विजय है। सिर्फ उस समय दूसरों के कहने व वायुमंडल में स्वयं निश्चय बुद्धि से बदल शक्य का रूप न बने। पता नहीं हार है या जीत है, यह शक्य न रख अपने निश्चय में पक्का रहे। तो जिसको आज दूसरे लोग हार कहते हैं, कल वाह के पुष्प चढ़ाएंगे। ओम शांति।
योगी पवित्र जीवन कितना सुखद सलोना। योगी पवित्र जीवन कितना सुखद सलोना। सींचा है ज्ञान अमृत से अंतर का कोना कोना। योगी पवित्र जीवन कितना सुखद सलोना। सींचा है ज्ञान अमृत से अंतर का कोना कोना। जब से लगन लगी है परिचय मिला तुम्हारा। होकर मगन मन कहता बाबा तू ही हमारा। जब से लगन लगी है परिचय मिला तुम्हारा। होकर मगन मन कहता बाबा तू ही हमारा। प्रभु से महामिलन का मन में सदा है होना। सींचा है ज्ञान अमृत से अंतर का कोना कोना।
ओम शांति, ओम शांति।